With this guy we can measure. That's why we like you so. No, that's all they need. Collect the mic from the MC. Yeah, MC, what are you doing? So this is your wedding song. This is the one. The reception dance one. This is the man who's that's the song. So how can I go across the water and then crazy song. Let's go into the story, my brother.
Okay, all right, let's start with the Daily Graphic. The front page. Gold Assay Center blocks 14 million Ghana cedis tax evasion. Whoa. That's good. President Akufo-Addo calls for calm in Nigeria. Let's invest more in science and maths quiz, said past contestants. The Church of Prosperity, this sad story. Collapsed building, death toll rises to 14. And the FDA reauthorizes the sale of the COA or COA mixture.
The Ghanaian Times says, President world leaders call for calm after days of violent protests, bloodshed in Nigeria. Also, politicians but allow public institutions to work, according to Entry Done. So 9 die, 14 rescued after collapse of church building. And nationwide evacuation of dump sites moves to Bono.
The Daily Guide. NPP MP killers caged. Bono 60-year-old refuse dump cleared. Church collapses. 12 killed. Nana Savers #1 slot. Government is shielding NAM1, says Mahama. And Lithovid fertilizer diluted, says witness.
The Chronicle says violence can't solve Nigeria's problems, according to the president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Also, NDC neglected OT, but I won't do that. This is in quote coming in from the president. Police beat retreat at Lashibi robbery scene, and some other stories in the paper this morning.
The Daily Heritage. I'll back free SHS with solid infrastructure, says former President Mahama. Okay. Nwa warehouse CEO rescues amputee patient from Kolebu. I will win Kroa seat with 4,000 votes margin, says Namomo. And only 18% paid. Depositors of savings and loans companies cry.
The New Crusading Guide has this story on the front page. Entry Danso blasts Mahama over attacks on the Electoral Commission. Also, road contractors angry at government over non-payment of debts. Oh, this matter is still there. Western North Communities, the Lord Sanitation Ministry for clearing their dump sites. And Ghana Link and GRA retain stakeholders on ICUMS.
Lots of stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Publisher. Akufo-Addo calls for calm in Nigeria. We saw the statements come out yesterday. Ghana lost $114.8 million to cybercrime in the last 2 years. Ghana is ready for AFCFTA, says the Trade Minister. And Ahafo remains grateful to Akufo-Addo, say chiefs. The chiefs are talking.
Yep. ABC News says Akufo-Addo builds 6 hospitals, commissions 14.5 million euro 60-bed hospital in the Ketu North constituency of the Volta region. That's Bennett's constituency. Also, Ghana is ready for the after, according to the Minister for Trade, and how John Mahama nearly plunged 2012 election into chaos.
All right, the Business and Financial Times front page. High data demand sees CST exceed target by 80%. 36 companies and 12 individuals honored at the 2020 Ghana Business Standard Awards. We don't owe government any taxes, say the OMCs, the oil marketing companies, and 60-year-old dump sites evacuated in Bono region.
The Business Finder says Ghana is ready for the after, according to Alan Chirmantin. COVID-19, World Bank to see Ghana out of the woods, and population and housing census takes off in 2021.
Let's take you online. CityNewsroom.com. Achim Batebi Church collapse. Death toll rises to 14. Also, 7 remanded over Infantiman MP's killing. Meanwhile, free SHS would have been non-existent if NDC had stayed in power. This is Baumia. And Nanado can't do more than Buhari. This is Anodompre on the unrest in Nigeria. Other stories. Ignore NDC. Government hasn't sold seized excavators. This is the Lands Minister. And population and housing census slated for April and May next year. CityBusinessNews.com. Former PDS contractors owed over 1.6 million cedis cry out to government for payment. Other stories. Producer price inflation increases marginally for September and will uphold high standards to have only the best firms listed. This is the Ghana Stock Exchange. By JohnOnline.com. Parliament sends delegation to investigate closure of Ghana Embassy with Ing Bank in Belgium. Also, 60 secessionists suspected assassin is discharged, and NDC MPs threatened to sue Audit Service Board for its decision to audit foreign travels of Auditor General. If you go to Star News, the lead story, Ghana is ready for AFTA. Also, my second term will focus on skills training and jobs. Mahama. Meanwhile, this is really tragic. Slain MP begged his attackers to follow him home for money. This is the police. And exercise restraint, ECOWAS Commission to Nigerian security. Now, if you go to most Nigerian websites, SARS is still the lead story. For example, the Punch says, end SARS killings, Buhari under fire, hoodlums on the rampage, burned buildings and vehicles. Sahara reporter says, Nigerian military opened fire on peaceful end SARS at Lekki Tollgate. That story has been their lead story for like 2 days. Channels TV also, UN condemns shooting of Lekki protesters, calls for end to police brutality in Nigeria. And the BBC says Trump and Obama lock horns in rival rallies.
All right. Well, speaking of SARS, the president has spoken. President Akufo-Addo calls for calm in Nigeria. This is on page 16 of the Daily Graphic. We saw the statements on social media yesterday.
Yes.
The chairman of the ECOWAS heads of state and government, President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, called for cool heads to prevail in the end SARS impasse in Nigeria. Now, remember that there was also a statement from the ECOWAS Commission. They also spoke, expressing their condolences to the families and friends of those who had lost their lives during the protests, wishing them a speedy recovery, and both agreed that violence is not the solution for this. So many were calling for statements to be issued. Those statements have now come. Let's see what happens next.
Okay.
Yep, we've also heard from the UN on that particular
Yes,
matter.
if you want that story, it's on Channels News. UN condemns shooting of Lekki protesters and call for end to police brutality. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for an end to police brutality in Nigeria, condemning violent clashes that claim multiple lives and cause many injuries. The position was contained in a communique by spokesperson Stefan Dujarric. According to the statement, the Secretary General has been following recent developments in Nigeria and has called for an end to police brutality and abuses. He also condemned the shooting of protesters on Tuesday at Lekki in Lagos, which resulted in multiple deaths and caused many injuries.
Okay, but let's come back home and stay with issues having to do with security. Slain Infantiman MP's trial. Police use tracker to trace accused persons, according to the prosecutor. That story is in the Ghanaian Times for this morning. Page 3 says it has emerged that the police used a tracking device to trace and arrest 6 persons who allegedly robbed and killed the late Eko Kwanzaa Hayford, who was the Member of Parliament for the Infantiman constituency in the Central Region on October 9, 2020. Now, this came to light yesterday when the accused persons appeared before the Accra Circuit Court, charged with conspiracy to commit crime and robbery. Also, we are told that 78 alleged separatists rearranged.
Before that, on the MP story, Star FM has this angle that the MP begged his attackers to follow him home for money, but they refused. The court hearing the case against the suspects in the murder of late Infantiman MP Eko Kwanzaa Hayford has been told by the police prosecutor that the lawmaker begged his alleged killers to follow him home for money because he had run short of cash. So they pounced on him and collected his Samsung Galaxy 850 mobile phone and demanded money. The late MP told the robbers that he had used up all the money as he was returning from campaign tour. He therefore pleaded with them to take him to his house to give them money, but they refused and shot him, killing him instantly. Chief Inspector Frimpong told the court. Now, the 6 persons who have been remanded are Alasan Abubakar alias Fulani, is a phone repairer, Nasiru Fudalu, a businessman, Al-Hassan Mahama Yaya, alias Mystical Cloud, a resident of Dansoman, Amadou Yakubu, mobile phone vendor, Haruna Osmanu, trader, and Adam Al-Hassan. They've all pleaded not guilty to the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, robbery, and contrary to the laws of the state.
Okay, so let me take you back to this story having to do with those activities in the Volta region creating problems there. Now, the state has rearranged the alleged separatists suspected of being behind last month's violence in parts of the Volta region only hours after they were discharged by circuit courts in Accra. Now, the prosecutor, ASP Sylvester Sari, told the court that the state would do the charges to enable it bring all of them into the courtroom under a consolidated case. Now, under an amended charge sheet, the state also told the Accra Circuit Court too that it had no jurisdiction to grant the suspects bail since the crimes were not committed within the authority area of the court.
All right, the sad story coming from the eastern region. The Church of Prosperity collapsed building. The death toll has risen to 14.
Yes.
This was a Chim Batebi in the Asani Mansu district in the eastern region. Wisdom. Recovery of 12 more dead bodies since Tuesday and yesterday. 14 lost their lives, 8 females and 6 males. 7 people were also pulled out from the debris alive, and they've been taken to the Odan Government Hospital for treatment. Some of the deceased are Togolese and Ivorians, apparently, according to the story in the Daily Graphic. Teams from NADMO, the Ghana Fire Service, etc., have been carrying out rescue operations with the help of sniffer dogs, obviously, to try to see if there are any more bodies to be retrieved. So devastating. Some other dignitaries also visited the scene of the disaster. This is really sad.
It is. And there have been lots of comments about the work of local assemblies in supervising building projects. Let's go to the campaign trail. Bawumia says free SHS would have been non-existent if NDC had stayed in power. This story is from Michael Chachu Aholu Nukunu. Vice President Dr. Bamu Bawumia says the free SHS program would not have been in existence if the NDC had won power in 2016. Addressing a deba at Kwame Danso in Sydney West on Wednesday, the Vice President said the NDC has no capacity to deliver free SHS program as they were unable to pay allowances of teacher trainees and Arabic instructors during his tenure. President Akufo-Addo promised to make free SHS was met with a lot of skepticism from the NDC in 2016. The NDC said we couldn't deliver the free SHS, but now we've done it. So that's the first story from the campaign trail.
Okay.
Now, still on the campaign trail, so this is Bono East, right? Now, if you go to Western region, Mama is promising to retrieve men's gold customers' money from Namwan if re-elected. So the NDC flag bearer Mama has assured of his commitment to aggrieved customers of men's gold as he makes his re-election bid.
Okay.
Mr. Mahama said his stance was in stark contrast to the Akufo-Addo administration, which he said had led the Men's Gold CEO Nana Appiah-Mensah off the hook.
Thank you.
Following an order from the SEC to suspend aspects of its operation in 2018, Men's Gold has struggled to pay customers their monies. Nana Appiah-Mensah was accused of running a Ponzi scheme. Mahama says the man who took the money is there unbothered. When the Men's Gold customers say they are going to demonstrate, police are sent to stop them. He said on campaign tour of Takwa in Siayim on Tuesday.
Okay, so let's stay on the campaign trail. NDC neglected OT, but I will not do that. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has challenged the people in the OT region to vote massively for him and all the new Patriotic Party parliamentary candidates to ensure the development of the newly created area. Now, according to him, though some of the National Democratic Congress stalwarts have come from the northern part of the Volta region, which they consider their political World Bank, they failed woefully to develop the area.
This one is promise against promise. I have another one. Next NDC government will construct a Tuabu Freeport. Mama Tunzima chief. So as they promised, this one will come back. Flag bearer of NDC has assured the chiefs of Nkrofu in the western region that the Atuabu Freeport will commence immediately he wins power to support the oil and gas industry and also help create jobs for them.
Charlie.
And this is when he also showed Kofi Bua. He sort of introduced Mr. Kofi Bua to the crowd during the rally.
All right.
So that's it.
Yeah, let's look at what's happening in the Hohoi constituency and in the Crow as well. Very competitive here. So you've got John Peter Ameu, who is very popular there and a native of the area, versus Professor Margaret Kweku, who is, I think, a former assembly member, and she's not really an indigenous of the area. Apparently, there are people saying that, well, maybe because she's not originally from there, Mr. Amewu could cause an upset. Traditionally, obviously, this is a seat that
this is the Hohoi
constituency. This is the Hohoi constituency. Hotly
analysis in the Daily Graphic.
In the Daily Graphic. People should check that out. Some people are saying they could go skirt and blouse, meaning Mahama for president, Amewu for PC. We'll see what happens there, but check it out in the Daily Graphic. Very interesting. And then if you go to the heritage about this Korowa seat as well, Agnes Namomolate, she says that she's going to take the Korowa seat. She's the parliamentary candidate for the NDC. She's going up against Mrs. Elizabeth Afole-Kwe, who is the MPP member of parliament there. And
I think that's a rematch. Because in 2016 it was a keenly contested race. MPP won. Now let's talk about payments. So there's a story about contractors saying they hadn't been paid. I also have former PDS contractors say they are owed over 1.6 million. Let me give you that first. City Business News. Some contractors who were engaged by former management of Defunct Power Distribution Services (PDS) are calling on government to facilitate payment for jobs they have executed since 2019. Spokesperson for the group, Alasan Abubakar, told City Business News all efforts, including petitioning the presidency over their concerns, have yielded no results. We petitioned the PDS lawyers, the senior minister, the president, and we haven't heard anything from them. The government should come and help us get our money. We voted for this government, so it's up to, and up till now, we have not seen any improvement in our standard of living apart from suffering. So if this will be the way to go, then I think at this year's election, we'll make up our mind as to who to vote for. Somebody will promise. if they shout for long, somebody will promise right now to pay.
Somebody has to promise better. So road contractors are also angry at government over non-payment of debt.
Let me say, those who haven't paid me for my MC.
We have to go.
Do you understand? Some voice over debt, Charlie. Come on.
To pay.
Now the story is by Samuel and Sam Watting in the New Crusading Guide says that some members of the Ghana Road Contractors Association have bemoaned government's decision to pay customers of defunct DKM at the expense of huge arrears owed them, the contractors, by the government. Now, the contractors believe that the decision by the government was not just unfair, but a misplaced priority and very discouraging to every hardworking Ghanaian. Benan, I'm supporting this particular demand. They must be paid because when you know
hey, what is that?
All right.
Guys, this is your support for this thing is very suspicious.
We don't owe government any taxes, the oil marketing companies. Now, we remember it was said that oil marketing companies and liquid petroleum gas, or LPG marketing companies, were owing government some revenue. They have come out strongly to say that this is not true. We may have seen some of the statements. They've rejected these claims. They said that their members are not indebted to the government in terms of taxes. According to them, the report is not only inaccurate, but a dent to their sector's reputation. Over the years, they have collaborated with tax agencies to ensure that every member is compliant. So Kweku Ajimandua, who's the CEO of the OMCs, said the sector's modus operandi does not support an OMC to keep operations ongoing and backdate its taxes. So he says the possibility of an uncollected back tax owed government is null and void. He said the Audit Service and GRA have engaged with its members with regard to tax reconciliation dating back to 2015, and that they should basically...
There's a very troubling story in the Chronicle. Police beat retreat at Lashibi robbery scene. Story by John Bediako in Tema. It says the Chronicle's in-depth investigations into last Friday's failed robbery at the Lashibi Vivian Farms branch of Access Bank has revealed that 2 of the AK-47 assault rifles sent to the scene got jammed and could not fire when it mattered most, as the police came face to face with the robbers. This was not because of a charm, but the weapons lacked servicing. At that juncture, the lives of the policemen came under extreme danger, since the gangsters could have easily executed them. Another explosive moment in that dawn response to the robbery call was that it was later discovered that a supposed security guard at the bank was in fact one of the robbers in a security guard uniform. He changed into that uniform after subduing the guard, who they tied and kept elsewhere. The probe had it that in the early hours of Friday at about 3 a.m., a call got to Sacramento police that there was an ongoing robbery at the Farm Vivian branch of Access Bank. Sacramento police patrol proceeded to the scene, and about 50 meters away, they met before the police met
the police or met the
so the Sacramento police patrol proceeded to the scene, and about 50 meters before the police met what would go for a getaway private car with the engine on. The police suspected the presence of the 2 occupants might have a link to the said ongoing robbery at the bank. The personnel tactically got down and ensured the vehicle could not escape. Visibly standing at the security booth was a man supposed to be in the bank security uniform. The armed policeman took various routes bordering the bank's premises, and before they realized it, the man in the private security uniform ran into the banking hall. Suddenly, multiple gunshots emerged from all directions. At this stage, the 2 policemen with 84 seconds attempted to gun down the robbers, but the weapons were unserviceable to the extent that they could not fire at the target. Though, with the ineffective weapons, the police personnel managed to pursue a number of the robbers who crossed the main Al-Shibia Shaiman road, but were nowhere to be found. So that the police were just brave. They were just brave because their gun didn't
failed them.
I'm telling you.
Why did you be there?
Charlie, this is what the paper's deep throat investigations have revealed.
That is a very dangerous thing. Well, let's
help our police to do the work.
Yeah, when they're doing the good work, they need.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Kokui. We'll be back with City Business News. Stay with us.